강치와지 로마 산징밀이 같이와셔야 요리 데리다다 사지 심지 니가 반나 베파타는 보상고 요리 데데 막그니 데 제데 휴요리 네 가지고 기본적인 잡소가 많은 걸 같이 절전나는 디나니 다들 잡지 못 가서 가요리 디나니 이게 용어들이 약다 딱 호토거리 저리요리 강성을 되는 감성을 통제자리에 나서 사트선 들지 니고 욕 이시체 봉고 주에서 강도 독적 자리 가사랑 로적 예담라 제달세적 주인왕성 대로 고아다 용아 똑았음요리 고아성을 하자 팽기요리 그리고 다다다 나 님을 라와 체들 나라르슨 득등로요리 강래전에더니 산지 습지 탐지 산지에서 가는데 잡을은 차그런 거다 잡소지 제보요래 잡소는 차그런님하도 요 말이지 그래 차그런 탐지 차그런 데인데 처리해야 돼 뭐 쫓지 돼 고아그래 당연히 태동 가면 요 말 탐지 상로잖아 나봐 사지 동당부 대만네 습지 탐지 사지에 가를 사지라고 셈을 해듯이 요래 셈됐다 나오지마 간데 잡고 너 어디 뒤에 거래 나한테 가봐봐네 되게 담조요래 되게 니버들이 산쪽 셈성 이때다 이시지 뭐 주베 송들 다디 퍼바스는 하고 색격대 주지자고 성 감슴 생기 탐지고 소 이시서 왕거스 데 가리리 소 이시서 왕가리 소도 가리 나오냐지 셈고 내로 또나 그빈로 지나서 내로 또 티박하는 메송래 근데 공부하면 저를 제르송 속도 제일 좋은데 네 과정처럼 나지니 너가 딱지 땅 나지니 너가 뭐 딱지다 르지요래 르지 참에 욕도 그걸 쓰기를 건도만 르지 셈 코라는 셈때 나가 로당 가바를 로서 나벌 가바 또 차만 보면 로데 좀만 하면 내가 과찬들이 뒤살았다네 물리다 매 빈팅이 셈적 봐서 셈과 셈도 남갔다가 뛰는 밤에 들이소 이시지 뭐 이지디가 돼 이시디 빼 남가리 남갔다가 남가지 매번 말이 요 말이 요디는 또나 요 말이 뭐면 따가 뛰는 말 뛰도록 삼아 빈팅이 로디가 삼는다 아이 셈이 제시 봐 셈네 납도 베비 셈데 다 셈고 검자시네 셈지 빨리 문에 다 셈기 다니 맞다 들어서 삼마디 셈적 마도 때 고아들고 이 양단은 뒤녀한테 들 공부하면 저러지 따오 공아들 요아들이 딱 빨리 자기 독지 뭐 주드네 셈 납도 당치 채로 그래 다다 청청들로 다잘 깡데 납도 채로 셈들 남상 남하도 차대 이 준치 매월한 것은 라시 사지 그 정도 마시지 세고 내로 고학들이 잡고 고치 삼에 들이디 다들 또 묘거나 또 나지 매발던 거래 나지 때리더니 뭐 족지요래 대사 족세고 다 발신 족거는 다 조람 삼체리 다른 매발던 거래 따와 공부 좁아하지 따와 하고성 대인체명을 공부래 저다 나와서 저라고 세운지요 야 강제적으로 깨다 강제적으로 째서 있장서 도시수지 소토고 대지 모두 sakdesong sakji dokji samateni hago tekolo tata semni nim doksor koaze charo ina tri tawa koa je chogore tri tevere tideli samago tideli la gonna nga dena ti chupu mati bakchili ti chupu teni dena tri ang tambo te sawa toguji tatok tungdo guje te kashi la hago royore yang bejang te chikta balla kore kashi 양탕 양자 싸는 거다네 ngay 잡아도 양 잡도 그래 저때 다와 싸만 요마지 철래 이 공부 때문에 다와들 마 대라 공부하잖아 들이디 라지게 말지가 지를 마치 나니 맞지 저거 거지 너희들 나 맞지 맞을 가려지 나 맞지 생장만 상장 생나 갖다 버들 니지 그만 많이 받대 생장만 이제는 너희 좀 롱가 디나 대송을 코데 꾸지시 도지 장소로 책 자수로지 사지 좀 디데게 즉디 강도 동다도 리도데 강제정 책게 넘버 공하지 책게 마서 메시 책게까지 동다고 돼 말이지 동다 돼 말이 나기니 요 말이지 루니도 루미 말이 뒤로 싸우는 거 보통 들이 과학적인 양탄도 거는 니디나 되는 이유 뭐 좋게도 사 뒤로 싸우는 거 뒤로 마되나 마 거기 지다 보면 니디 다로리 락속을 잡아다 자그를 막 자데 님티비 마다는 거도 마되나 들이대 살자서 총질로 요래 나도 자동차 봐오나 마다를 남동네 거기 이쿠가 자를 공도 막 같이 기보가 되네 이쿠디 공만 모니들이 가 자든 레조 그래 나 나다 다데 나다 지금 나다 메라 이제라 거는 나다 땅고도 대그 빈거 되냐 농자오래 들이들이 된 나다들 자르콘 들이들이 너무 자라콘 들이 속라콘 들이 셈라콘 들이 셈을 님이 이제까지 지나 셈 내lok도 대용에 들이 탐지는 자와토기 싫어도 이지지 봐 산지 탐지 찍 봐야 다 찍사지 셈 내록 이제 털리 찍 봐야지 뒤들들이 따뜻한 발화는 오는 욕받지 책 가르쳐야 되는 대자장성 그래 뒤들 고하는 애들이 노약을 책들이라 그 생물상으로 성질있지나 책당 동제나 들이지 탐들아 하장 그렇죠 요래 들이 연이 때문에 막 시가 하고 요래 땅 싸워 요는 양당한테 특사한지 들이 소모지 이제 참자해
So there's one very important thing I wanted to still mention. So since there are a few older but also newer disciples. First, often when we think about Buddhas and sentient beings, we think that there is a big difference. There's a big distance between them. And I've mentioned that many times before. There is this quote that comes from the Milarepa songs translated by Khenpo Tsultum Gyamtsum, and that has been widely spread, is well known, and actually advisable to look at these songs over and over again. And so in one of these songs, it says, Milarepa says, "In the natural born palace of the three realms are the 6 types of beings who have Buddha nature. Since great wisdom has been pointed out to me, wherever I reside is a boundless palace. Whomever I'm with is the Yidam deity. Whatever I do is the Dharma Dhatu." So these words are something that we first need to understand, then experience, and finally realize. Even if we only understand these words, it's extremely beneficial. In the old tantric system, in the Nima system, we often speak about all appearances being the deity, all sounds, the mantra, and thoughts, the Dharmakaya. And so coming back to the difference between Buddhas and sentient beings, what actually is the difference? It is just like the difference between ice and water. Even though in this world there are many forms of ice, there are icebergs and ice blocks and so forth, ultimately it's either ice or water. There's nothing else than that. And ice itself is actually water. And so this is basically what we're introduced to here with this verse. And if you understand it, then you won't have any doubts in your mind at all. So that is what we learn in the Buddhist tradition when we speak about the ultimate truth. All sentient beings are actually Buddhas. So what is actually a Buddha? It is actually your own mind. But now we think that our mind is the self. we think me. Everything is about me, my cup of tea, and so forth. We constantly have these thoughts of I, that falls down on us like snowflakes falling down. And it is this thinking of me that keeps us in bondage. And the antidote to it is bodhicitta. So, since great wisdom has been pointed out to me in that quote, what is this wisdom? And so that actually also relates to an important line in the Vajrakilaya consecration. It says that the sentient beings of the three realms are empowered with primordial wisdom. And so that is the life force, the life force that is primordial wisdom. The life force is this great wisdom that has been pointed out to me. It is the nature of the mind. The omniscient Longchen Rabjam had said that when you realize the nature of the mind, there is no higher learning than that. That is also what we call the unchanging nail of meditation, of the four nails. And this nail is the ultimate nail. So how we need to put that into practice is we have to really truly analyze our mind. Is there a self and other? Do self and other exist? Are we separate? And we come to the conclusion that there are different bodies, but within the mind, we are all the same. And when we die, we will all leave this body behind. There's no one who has ever taken their body with them. And then what stays is the mind. And the mind is just like space or like electricity. For example, there may be hundreds and thousands of phones in the world, but they are all powered by one and the same electricity, which is like the mind. So this is something you should first understand and then really reflect on that. For example, by thinking of two people, you and your friend. We have different bodies, we are two people, but there's only one mind. And that mind is like space. So that is this primordial awareness here, this great wisdom that has been pointed out in Milarepa's quote. This great wisdom that has been pointed out is the life force that the Kila consecration speaks of. An example of primordial wisdom, of great wisdom, is space. A space can neither said to be existing, nor can it said to be non-existing. We cannot say that it doesn't exist, and we cannot say it's there because it cannot be shown. So this lack of existence and non-existence is the view of the middle way, the Madhyamaka. So when you think about two companions, you and your friend, you can see that we are two, and yet we have one mind. Those of you who know how to meditate will know that the thought-free mind is one and the same. The mind of all beings, of humans, of animals, of any living being, is one and the same. So once we understand that, we need to experience that over and over again. We experience it, we gain a direct experience as we engage in meditation practice. So in the context of experience, we are introduced to Mahamudra and Dzogchen. And through the experience of meditation, the conceptual mind will eventually cease. For example, when we meditate, we often hear this ringing tone, the bell sound. And as the sound disappears, likewise our thoughts vanish, just like into space. And then we continue within that thought-free state continuously. It is said that I have not recognized that my own mind is actually the Buddha. So this is what you all should understand first. And once you really understand this, put it into practice, experience it. And through experience, the grasping at a self will diminish. For as long as there is self-grasping, there will be the 6 afflictive emotions. The antidote to these are the 6 paramitas, which you should apply in all your day-to-day activities. And in this way, self-grasping will diminish. So we speak about the view, the meditation, and the conduct. First, we have understood the view. Now we have understood the view. Meditation means to habituate this view continuously. Like it is said in the 37 practices, appearances are one's own mind, in verse number 22. And then in verse number 36, it says, in whatever you do, always look at the state of your mind. So this is what we are pointed out to in Mahamudra and in Dzogchen. This is what we need to understand. The state of our mind. And then that within that mind, there is no duality, no delineation between ourselves and others. So this is the view to be understood. When you understand that, you have established a foundation of the view. And then with that view, you visualize the deity and recite the deity's mantra. If you just do that, that is the best practice. That is the root of the practice. And through that, you will realize the ultimate truth. There are some who realize the ultimate truth instantly. They are called the instantaneous realizers. And then there's others for whom it takes more time. Some realize it, but then again, self-grasping comes back, and again, they are obscured. It is just like first the water becomes a bit clarified, and then again it becomes muddy. So first we need to understand the view, and then from within that view, we visualize the deity and we recite the mantra. And there was once a disciple who asked a question about one line in the Vajrakilaya practice. It says, I myself arise as the uncontrived perfect form of Vajrakilaya. And so the question was about this term I, myself. What is this I actually? And so what that refers to here in this line is the completely pure state of mind that is free from all dualistic thinking. That is basically your true self appears as the uncontrived form of Vajrakilaya. In the Drupon Kagyu fivefold path of Mahamudra, it says Vajradhara is the creator of all of samsara and nirvana. So this implies there is this one mind from which arises everything. The Buddha also said in the sutras that I have taught the sutras, the dharmas, in 1,000 different worlds, using 1,000 different words. And even though my words are distinct, they have a single meaning. And if you habituate the single meaning, you practice all my teachings. The single meaning the Buddha is speaking about is the ultimate truth, that self and other are indivisible. There may be a duality in bodies, but not within the mind. So truly understand that and then reflect on that over and over again. Understand that it is through this dualistic thinking that all the afflictive emotions arise. And we reverse this by meditating within the view and then visualizing the mantra garland and reciting the mantra. These are methods to purify dualistic thinking. So the visualization of the deity and the mantra purify the mind of these obscurations. And that is also why it is very beneficial to play the sound of the mantra on a recording day and night, to really familiarize yourself with the sound of the mantra. In this way, naturally, if you hear the sound of the mantra day and night, your grasping at sound will get lesser. And eventually, actually, it will carry over into your dream state. when you fall asleep, hearing the sound of the mantra. You might even hear the sound of the mantra in your dream state when you are sleeping. And you habituate to the point where you can't even sleep without the sound of the mantra. So that is the experience to be gained that will really benefit you. The experience of habituating to the sound of the mantra. And then through the body, you visualize the form of the deity and the mind is in a meditative state. So whenever a dualistic thought, a mind arises, remind yourself that within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. So primordial wisdom is our primordial awareness. And within that state, we are one with all the Buddhas. It is the natural state of the mind. Within that state, we are all one. So these are the important words I wanted to share, and I would like to ask you to keep those in mind. These are very important. So these are the words you first need to understand and then put into actual experience. So when we recite the sadhana, it's important to understand the meaning so that we can, through the words, really internalize the meaning in our mind and reflect on this understanding. So that is why the words in the sadhana are very important. And most of you who are experienced practitioners know about that. So since there are also a few new practitioners, I wanted to remind you of that and to please keep that in mind. So for today, I will stop the teachings here.
From the mantra, garland light rays and a second garland issue forth, passing from my mouth into the mouth of the consort. The self-resounding mantra proclaimed by the inconceivable dakas and dakinis in the consort's four chakras arouses the mind stream. From the consort's secret place, the mantra garland enters my Vajra, and the deities residing within my channels proclaim the sound of the mantra. I visualize the mantra garland dissolving ceaselessly into my heart.
Om benza gele gela yanza wong pan wo kadam gayen zayen benza ye anze de apara anze de marasen Dhammar dana ye sarva bene ba wong pek Om benza gele gela yanza wong pan wo kadam gayen zayen Benzaye anze de apara anze de marasena tamardana sarva bene bam hum pi om benza gile gela zahom bam ho gadam gayen zai benzaye an Marasena Dhamardana ye sarva bene bahom pek Om benza gile gala yanza wom baho gadam gayenza Benza ye anze de apara anze de marasena Dhamardana sarva bene bahom pek Om benza gile gala Zahom Baho Gadam Gayen Zai Benzaye Anze de Abaranze de Marasen Damadana Ye Zawa Bene Bahom Pe Oma A E E U U Re Re Le Le E E O O Ang A Gaga ganga na za 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 janya ta 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 na ta 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 na ba 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 yara la wa shaka sa ha ja oma a a e e o o re re le le e e o o ang a gaga ganga na za 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 janya ta 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 na pa 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 ma yara la wa shaka sa ja o ma a a e e o o re re le le e e o o a a ka 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 ga na ta 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 ja nya ta 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 na ta 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 na pa 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 yara la wa shaka sa ja so wa om ban za sa to so ma ya ma na ba la Benza sato te no ba ti dan de do me ba wa su de ga yo me ba su bo ja yo me ba wa anurag do me ba wa sarva siddhi me daya za sarva karma sudan cetam hiryam kuru hom ha wo bangava sarva tatanga damben Samaya Sato Om Banzar Satva Samaya Manupala Banzar Satva Tino Ba Tidande Do Me Bava Sode Gayo Me Bava Sobo Jayo Me Ba Anurag Do Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Me Payata Sarva Karma Sudha Me Jidang Yayam Kuro Aho Bangave Sarva Tatanga Benza Mame Benza Benza Bava Masama Sato Om Benza Sato Samaya Manupalai Benza Sato Tinoba Didande Me Bava Sudekayo Me Bava Subojayo Me Bava Anurado Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Me Dayata Sarva Karma Sudan Tidang Yam Guru Aho Bangave Sarva Tatanga Benza Mame Benza Benza Bava Masamai Sado Ome Yedan Maheda Baba Hedin Tikya Tanga Do Heyo Vadin Tikinza Naroda Wamboda Ma Shamana Yesova Omeye Dharma Heda Barbava Heden to Shanda Dangado Heyova Den to Shanzai Naroda Wamboda Ma Shamana Yesova Omeye Dharma Heda Barbava Heden to Shanda Dangado Heyova to Shanzai Naroda Wamboda Ma Shamana Zovai Oim Partim Pervela Zoike Zenai Sang Winche Bamba Gwasang Toyon Teledo Ba Ming An Nyang Jai Page 36. Lama renze la dan kan ru dom je dan la men je do da wang ge zhen yan de dem ne jin ku ne da nam jo wa nam la sin chen be je do ze wa jen bu gong ba yo. Yeah. Come on,